Welcome to a new segment to the Best Team series that I want to try out. The best team without the iconic starter Pokemon. I have never in my life as a Pokemon player have ditched my starter Pokemon unless it was some kind of Nuzlocke variant or my starter died during that series. What would it be like if the starter Pokemon wasn't on the best team? Today, we find out this prospect with the region of Sinnoh. Why Sinnoh, some of you might be asking. I don't know. I was just in a Sinnoh type of mood. And Sinnoh has quite a bit of power options to pick from too. But yeah, this idea has been in the back of my mind for a while now, and I felt it was time to do it. But before we start, today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Recently, I've been learning Japanese, and one of the trickiest parts about that process is trying to find something I genuinely want to watch with the Japanese subtitles in it. I struggled to find shows with Japanese subtitles in them after searching across a variety of platforms. Then I remembered Surfshark. You see, with Surfshark VPN, you have the ability to change your IP address's location to any location of your convenience. With that handy feature, I was able to change my IP's location to Japan, where I was able to find a plethora of content of exactly what I wanted. Where I watched the Japanese dub of Avatar: The Last Airbender with the Japanese subtitles on Netflix. Did I also mention that Surfshark makes sure that all your information is safe and secure by masking your IP? VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. So, for example, if you're an avid coffee shop connoisseur like myself, your information is completely safe even on public Wi-Fi. So if any of this applies to you, a VPN is essential. So what are you waiting for? Secure your privacy with Surfshark and enter coupon code MysticUmbreon for an extra 3 months free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. And with that, let's get into it. Alright, so our starter Pokemon that's not quite a starter Pokemon is a pretty common one a lot of players use when it comes to their journey in Sinnoh, being Staraptor. Starly can be caught at literally the beginning of the game, and it'll of course be our team's flyer. What I like about Staraptor is it's the best regional flyer next to Corviknight, especially in this era of Pokemon. Unfortunately, power creep caught up to it, and nowadays it's sitting in PU. It's really sad because Staraptor had always at least been a UU champ up until that point. But enough about comp. Staraptor in this playthrough of Sinnoh is gonna be awesome. Its base attack and base speed speak for itself, so there's that. And it also gets Intimidate even as a Staravia. A fun strat I've always liked to implement is to use Intimidate to bring down Mars's Per Ugly's attack stat. That's always been useful in helping me take it down one way or another. Another interesting strat is one that I actually learned about fairly recently, and that's teaching Staravia Thief and using it against Fantina's team. Thief can get rid of Miss Magius's Citrus Berry. But other than that, if you're a veteran of my channel, you know I have spoken about Staraptor in multiple pieces of content prior, so I won't waste any more time here. As for its moveset, Fly, Return, Close Combat, and Steel Wing. Fly can be found in the Galactic Warehouse early on, Return can be found as a TM from Professor Rowan at the very beginning of the game, Close Combat can be learned at level 34, and of course is going to be Staraptor's best set of coverage. Lastly is Steel Wing, which can be found as a TM south of Solaceon Town behind a cut tree. Staraptor's moveset is pretty powerful, especially if you can max out its happiness for Return. Our next member is actually going to be a temporary one, and this one might make some of you upset. It's Azalea. We need something for Rourke because Starly isn't going to cut it. Once Rourke is defeated though, keep Azalea until you get Eevee from Bebe in Hearthome City because we're getting Jolteon. The Thunderstone can also be found near the Solaceon ruins. Jolteon is one of the best electric types for this time, and with that speed and special attack, you can see why. Though its move pool is pretty doksh, but all it really needs is Thunderbolt to really shred anything. For Jolteon's moveset, the only two moves I can really think of are Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball. The other two moves are up to you. Thunderbolt can be found as a TM via surfing north of the Valley Windworks, and Shadow Ball can be found as a TM on Route 210. Before Thunderbolt, you can teach Jolteon either Thunder Shock, which it gets via level up, or you can teach it the Shockwave TM, which can be found on the route before Veilstone after cutting some trees. Thunder is also an option if you're feeling lucky with your accuracy. I would say use Thunder Wave, but the TM for that can't be found until post-game, or you're gonna have to wait until level 57. Technically, this next mon you actually get second. But I wanted to cover Jolteon first, considering it was Roselia's replacement. The next mon we are capturing is Gyarados. I recently talked about Gyarados in my new team for Pokemon Yellow, and I had a pretty fun time using it. Gen 4 though, there's the physical special split. And with that, Gyarados gets access to physical water attacks finally. I don't think I need to get into why Gyarados is a beast, because you can look at its stats for yourself. And its move pool is also halfway decent as well. The downside is you will have the challenge of evolving Magikarp. However, if you have done this before, you know the payout is worth it. Also, pretty much like all base Pokemon games, Magikarp can be found super early on via the Old Rod on the route next to Jubilife City. So, Gyarados' moveset. Prior to choosing Gyarados, I thought Gyarados learned a physical water type attack pretty close to evolution, because I had recently played BDSP and it got Waterfall pretty much at level 21. But, oh to my surprise, it doesn't get Aqua Tail in Platinum until level 35. Despite this though, after looking at other water type options, I still think Gyarados is the superior physical attacking option. I wanted to use Gastrodon, but I have a really solid ground type picked out already, so I thought there was no need. Regardless, the moveset is still pretty good, and with Gyarados' 125 physical attack stat, it'll shred until level 35, where it'll get Aqua Tail. Thrash/Earthquake, Aqua Tail/Waterfall, Ice Fang, and Bite. Thrash can be learned via Mover Learner, or if you like more coverage, you can use the Earthquake TM. Next is Aqua Tail, and I mentioned that move prior. Ice Fang can be learned shortly before Aqua Tail at level 32, and Bite can be learned at level 20, right when you evolve. This will mainly help you against Fantina's team. Unless I'm missing something, Gyarados can't learn Crunch in this generation. Next up, we have our Infernape replacements, and I think they're both really solid. I say both because we got two options, either Medicham or Gallade. Both mons have their own merit, and to be honest, there is no right or wrong answer, so I felt the need to bring up both. Firstly, Ralts can be found on Route 208. Just make sure you capture a male one. Shortly after, you evolve it at level 20 into Kirlia, and then you evolve it into Gallade using a Dawnstone. The earliest Dawnstone, from what I could find, is available in Mount Coronet on the way to Hearthome via surfing. Next, Meditite can be found on Route 210, and you're going to want to find one with huge power, which can double its attack stat. It evolves into Medicham at level 37. It's players' choice of whether or not they want to choose Medicham or Gallade. In my opinion, Gallade evolves earlier, and has an easier time getting its moves, while Meditite does take slightly longer to evolve, and moves are a bit tedious to get via Move Tutor. But it still does come with huge power. If its moves weren't too difficult to get, Medicham would 100% be the choice because of huge power. However, I'm leaving both options available because it simply boils down to what you want to do. Either or, both options are great, and you don't lose anything by choosing one over the other. They're both psychic fighting types with decent stats, and they also get good stab and coverage, which we will get to now via the movesets. Okay, let's cover Gallade's moveset first. Psycho Cut, Night Slash, Ice Punch, and Thunder Punch. Psycho Cut can be learned at level 31, Night Slash has to be mover learned, and both the elemental punches have to be tutored. Following suit, Medicham's moveset is very similar, consisting of Zen Headbutt and all the elemental punches. The downside is all of its moves have to be tutored on at Route 212. Also, I know tutor and mover learn stuff can be a pain in the butt, so I will leave some videos down below on how to get shards and Heartscales. Either way, both mons have a tedious process of getting their moves. At the penultimate spot, Mamoswine is up as our ground type. Garchomp fans, please don't kill me. It's just that in Sinnoh, Garchomp only really shines in the league, unless you overlevel the hell out of Gabite and evolve it before taking on Volkner. I will say, Gible can be found super early in the Wayward Cave, so you can have it for the majority of the game. So that is a plus. Garchomp is still goated though, and if you want to use it, it will not affect this team's composition at all. Just give it EQ, and that's all you need. Back to Mamoswine though, I love its dual typing of Ice and Ground. I see that Ice typing as a real plus, especially if you can pull the priority Ice Shard against Cynthia's Garchomp. Swineup can be found on Route 217. and evolves into Piloswine at level 33. From there, you will have to move relearn Ancient Power to evolve it into Mamoswine. Realistically, it's actually not too bad to evolve, especially because you can get it in its early 30s. This is a plus, because you get a fully evolved Mon towards the mid-game. Mamoswine comes with a massive 130 attack stat and a decent speed stat of base 80, so it's pretty solid overall. Move pool wise, it's not bad. I just wish it got better ice type options, which you will see soon enough. Weavile could also be an option, but I dislike the earlier evolution of Mamoswine. Having a fully evolved ground type to trounce Volcaner too sounded very appealing. Mamoswine's moveset is going to consist of course, the all-powerful Earthquake, Ice Shard / Ice Fang, Rock Slide, and the other move will be your guys' choice. Earthquake can be learned at level 40, but if you want Mamoswine to have it earlier, the TM for it can be found in the location I mentioned in Gyarados' entry. Gyarados doesn't need Earthquake, so if this option sounds better to you, then go for it. Then we have its other stab, Ice Shard and Ice Fang. This is the part that annoys me about Mamoswine. These are the only physical ice attacks it has access to, if you don't count Avalanche, which is negative priority. I would ultimately choose Ice Shard, because it is priority, but if you want both, more power to you. You're just gonna have to move relearn Ice Fang. Rock Slide can be found in Mount Coronet as a TM. You will just need Rock Climb to access it. Our last member is gonna be everyone's favorite fire type from Sinnoh that's not Infernape, Houndoom. Houndoom isn't bad, and this team needs another special attacker, so I felt it could fit the bill. Having the Dark and Fire type is a pretty unique combination going through Sinnoh. Its Fire typing can also be quite helpful when going up against the likes of Byron, who is more of a physically oriented gym leader. But yeah, Houndoom is a good special attacker and has decent speed for what we need, so let's just hop into its moveset. Houndoom's moveset is literally just its best stabs and the only form of coverage it gets. Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, and Sludge Bomb. The Flamethrower TM can be found in the Fuego Ironworks. Dark Pulse unfortunately can't be found until Victory Road, and Sludge Bomb can be found in the Galactic Warehouse. The last move is viewer's choice. The one downside about Houndoom is the lack of special dark attacks. Luckily though, it's not really needed much until Lucian anyways. Well, that was the first segment of the best team series with not using a starter. What'd you guys think of this team? If you want more, let me know in the comments below.